Arctic ice cap is the pointer to the health of the planet. An explorer and leader of the Arctic Leadership Challenge, Earl De Blonville, says the planet's tipping point has passed us by and we need leaders to show us how to survive extreme weather conditions. He plans to take 12 teams of 10 teenagers to the east coast of Greenland to observe the culture of the Inuit so they can develop survival strategies for the future.
Now we're able to offer a series of programs from bronze through silver and gold, whereby all kinds of kids who wouldn't qualify or want to go into the major expedition, but nonetheless they can get involved and actually do something. We've gone through the process of creating awareness, and awareness is all very well. What we want is kids to actually get involved and actually do something and feel as though they're contributing to the reduction of our carbon footprint, and by doing apply a lot of pressure to the government, and Australia can then apply a lot of pressure to other governments and say, look what we're doing, look what we are capable of achieving.
De Blonville's broad curriculum for the Arctic Field University will equip the chosen teenagers with physical and psychological survival skills. Learning to cope with failure and disappointment is part of a survivor's kit.
This Climate Change Field University is going to be, from an educational point of view, a very, very exciting new idea. It's going to comprise adventure training in teams to develop very, very strong teams, following a concept I've developed called the team as leader. So it's a little bit like a clock. You know, the clock works perfectly, and there's a couple of hands there telling you the time, but it works because all those cogs are working together. You take out one cog, no time. Time stands still. So at the end of this field university, each team will select a climate change challenge and commit to that challenge. Now that challenge will have to be, will have to produce a measurable outcome at the end. Now that could be each kid in the team making their own home carbon neutral. It could be each kid in that team making their own street carbon neutral, and so on. Or it could be the whole team deciding on something much larger or begin to work with other teams. Each team will adopt a climate change issue which they will champion. And the way that they will champion that is that they will have every kid go out giving major presentations in support of that, calling for action from their audiences. Each kid will have to create their own team. So that 120 will swell to 1200. And that's when we'll begin to see some huge action programs taking place around the country. So what else is going to happen in the field university? Well, we have the adventure training. We're going to put these kids through hell. They're going to discover what they're really made of. That will also put them through experiences where they will fail, because it's only through failure that you realise how strong you really are. If you've just succeeded, you have no ability to cope with disappointment and failure. And yet all of the great discoveries weren't made by being successful first time. They were made through a series of trials and tribulations until you finally got there. This film we're watching is made available by Edison, who failed about 4,500 times to make a light bulb. But he stuck with it despite everyone trying to talk him out of it. And as a result of that working, and hence the whole concept of electricity, we now live in an electric world. So persistence has its benefits.
So what else is happening during that first year?
Well, in the early part of the year, we are going to be matching up each team, each state team, with a corporate sponsor. So that's great for the corporate sponsors, because every business in the country, if they don't have a climate change plan, recent research has shown that the majority of investors won't invest in them. People won't stay loyal to a company that's not committed to climate change. So they have to do something. So this is a fantastic way of matching up those companies that really are serious about climate change, about sustainability, and about being viable into the future.
De Blonville, who gives corporate heads leadership crafts, says that companies who invest in climate change issues and debate are investing in their future.
We are then going to be taking our leadership team up to Greenland for a full-blown reconnaissance. And that'll be an opportunity for the sponsors, the 12 sponsors, to send one of their key representatives on the expedition with us. So having been up there to the coalface, watching this ice melt, seeing it with their own eyes, of course they will go back and become a very, very powerful advocate for all of the changes that their company needs to make in order to just survive themselves. So by the end of November, the end of 2008, we will have been around and selected the 120 lucky teenagers who will have qualified for the $45,000 investment per person that we're going to make in them, to produce the best young climate change leaders of the future.